Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So really, I had no intention to cover this topic because, frankly, I don't really care. It shouldn't be political, and so it wouldn't really belong on the channel, and so it's not necessarily something that I'd jump to cover, but somehow, Andrew Tate's mere existence has become political, and Andrew Tate's supposedly controversial brand is now associated with Donald Trump, MAGA voters, Trump supporters, and the right wing. Every single media outlet that's reporting on his arrest is labeling him alt-right, which I'm not exactly sure where they get that one from. And so, we're gonna end up talking about this. We'll talk a little bit about the details. I guess I'll update you guys on the background, who Andrew Tate is, what happened here, but more importantly, and what I really want to focus on, the left's manipulation of this situation to turn it as a political weapon to attack Trump voters and conservatives. Essentially, the left-wing MO, the psychotic Twitter mob's favorite tactic of everything bad must be somehow attributed to their political opponents and used as a political weapon to destroy them. This time, Andrew Tate. Let's get into it, folks. Let's talk about Andrew Tate's arrest. Let's roll the tape. Alright, folks, so for those of you guys who aren't aware, Andrew Tate, controversial podcaster, masculinity guru, whatever you want to call him, has been arrested. Leftoids and feminists, of course, who have made him public enemy number 2, probably next to Elon Musk, are already jumping to conclusions claiming that he's already guilty, he's been arrested, he's probably rotting in prison for the rest of his life already. I mean, that's essentially how they're covering this, or how they're talking about it. But the reality is, his home was raided, and he was detained for 24 hours from what I understand. He's already released this tweet on his Twitter account at Cobra Tate, and so it's possible he's already been released. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, whether they found anything during the raid. They raided his compound. This is the video footage.
Nothing else? No. Okay. Can go.
And so that's what we know so far, that Andrew Tate's villa has been raided by Romanian police, and he was detained for supposedly 24 hours. It's possible he's still being detained, he's still being held. So we don't know what's going on, and we cannot jump to conclusions. There have been allegations from, I believe, 6 women, claiming that Andrew Tate held them against their will. There's one incident where one of the girls' boyfriends or husband, who I believe was from the United States, had contacted the US Embassy in Romania, attempting to find his girlfriend and wife. But so far, it's all hearsay, it's all allegations. We don't actually have any details into what the charges are, or what the evidence is into what he's actually being accused, or whether he's being charged with it. We have absolutely no idea. But the left, of course, is doing what they usually do. They're lying, they're jumping to conclusions, claiming that he's a gangster, human trafficker, which is, look, it's possible. But in typical leftist disingenuous fashion, they're claiming that he's a criminal without evidence, and then trying to make a connection to conservatives, MAGA supporters, and Trump supporters, as if we're defending him, as if he represents us. Look, I watch Andrew Tate clips. Some of them I actually enjoy. I mean, some of the stuff that he says is quite accurate. Some of his moments during intense debates are quite entertaining. On various different podcasts and talk shows, it's kind of hard to avoid Andrew Tate if you're scrolling through YouTube shorts. It's going to pop up in your feed regardless of what you try to do. But I wouldn't say I'm an Andrew Tate fan, and I definitely wouldn't say that Andrew Tate represents me or my political ideology. Andrew Tate is known for running a webcam service, essentially like an online gentleman's club. He also doesn't necessarily represent my conservative values when it comes to family tradition. I wouldn't exactly go as far to claim that Andrew Tate is your ideal conservative, representing our political movement, but that's essentially how the left is trying to categorize this. Why? Because they're friggin' dishonest, they're absolute liars, and they will do literally anything in an attempt to slander or one-up the chuds on the right wing. It's kind of the same thing with the whole Ukraine situation. If you merely question the leftist narrative, you're pro-Putin. If you merely comment on the situation with Andrew Tate with a little bit of nuance, I mean, being fair, not condemning someone as a criminal without evidence, or just waiting for all of the information to trickle in before you cast your judgment, well then you're pro-Andrew Tate and you're a right-wing, ultra-misogynist Andrew Tate fan. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. But it's exactly what these leftoids on Twitter always do. You know, it really shows the difference when it comes to basic morality. They claim to be the side of virtue, yet they're the first people to totally ignore the concept of being innocent before proven guilty. They're the first people to get the pitchfork, get the torches, and condemn somebody as long as it fits their ideological narrative. Andrew Tate is anti-feminism. I mean, he's basically the embodiment of everything that they despise, and so they're fully willing to charge him of crimes in the court of public opinion before actually getting any of the facts. And then to add on to their already disgraceful, totally immoral actions, they then use it as a political weapon to slander and attack people that they disagree with. I find that's much more fascinating, a much more interesting phenomenon than the arrest of Andrew Tate. The lengths that they're willing to go to, the way that they're willing to lie. In fact, they lie about everything. You guys remember this interesting character from that viral moment when she appeared in front of Congress a couple weeks ago? Well, here she is again, Alejandra Caraballo, far-left trans activist, made up story that Romanian authorities raided Andrew Tate's home after Pizza Box revealed his location. I'm sure you guys have seen this narrative all over Twitter. Leftoids are promoting this narrative that Greta Thunberg led to the arrest of Andrew Tate because in his response video he had 2 pizza boxes in front of him, which then Romanian authorities used to track his location. I mean, completely and utterly ridiculous. If you know anything about Andrew Tate, I mean, just basic surface level information about the man, you instantly know that this is yet again another phony leftist Twitter narrative. Andrew Tate has been under investigation for a while. In fact, here's a video of his arrest and release from like a year ago.
Îți mulțumesc. Sunt din nou descinderi în această dimineață la frații milionari Andrew și Tristan Tate. Cei 2 britanici acuzați că ar fi sechestrat 2 tinere în vila lor din Voluntari sunt cercetați încă din primăvară. Perchezițiile de acum au loc în acest dosar, în care procurorii DICOT au adunat noi probe timp de câteva luni. Dosarul este unul de constituire de grup infracțional și viol, iar cei 2 urmează să fie ridicați și duși la audieri.
He's been under investigation, and it's not as if his location is unknown to authorities. The guy's traveling on a private jet publicly all the time. His public location is constantly known. What hotels he's staying at, where he's at, his homes in Europe. Yet these leftoids on Twitter just push a false narrative. They all buy it hook, line, and sinker because they don't question things. They don't question anything. They're merely pawns to whatever the popular narrative at the time is. And the current narrative is that Andrew Tate is a right-wing menace, and so they'll do and say anything to destroy him and to use him as a political tool to slander the right. They're now going after Elon Musk, claiming that Andrew Tate is Elon Musk's friend because he unbanned him. I mean, do we really need to give that statement any credibility? It has zero credibility. Elon Musk unbanned people who were wrongfully banned on Twitter, and somehow now Elon Musk is friends with all of those individuals and should be associated. It's completely ridiculous. Andrew Tate has no association to the conservative American platform. He's merely a guy who uses controversy to market himself. He's a guy who speaks uncomfortable truths because he knows that it's good marketing for him and it's gonna blow up on the internet, and he's built various businesses around that. He's a guy who supposedly has a shady past and is currently being investigated by Romanian authorities, and we can't necessarily jump to conclusion on what those charges are or the credibility of said charges. In other words, the TLDR, the conclusion, we don't know much. It has no association to us. And of course, to top it all off, the left is as dishonest, as despicable, as vile and slanderous as they always are. That's basically the conclusion of this video. Although one thing I will say, I guess we'll cap off the video with this, I do find it quite odd, however, how Andrew Tate was arrested the day after calling out Greta Thunberg. That I find a little bit suspicious. But we're not going to jump to any conclusions on that, and we'll just have to see what happens. And in the end, really, unless there's some grand conspiracy connected to globalist autocrats, I frankly just don't really care that much about this situation. But it's funny to see the left expose themselves once again. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm going to get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.